Me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
So this happened to my husband and I about 30 plus years ago. Um, and maybe it's the Halloween spirit, but I'll go ahead and tell it. My first TikTok ever. We were watching a friend's beautiful Victorian outside of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They were away for a week and we were staying there, my husband and I. And we were watching the house primarily because they had this standard poodle, Bryn, who had a spinal injury, so she didn't have use of her hind end at all. And at night, she would get baby gated into the kitchen. We had a linoleum floor in case she had, accidents. But there was a baby gate in the hallway and one to this little sitting area. And we had gone to bed. We put the gates up and tucked her in, and went to bed. And it was a spooky house unto itself. It was beautiful Victorian, and it happened to be a very stormy, rainy night, lightning and the whole thing, whole works. And in the middle of the night, the electric had gone out, the power had gone out, and it was crashing thunder and lightning. And I hear Bryn kind of howling downstairs and crying. And I wake my husband up, and he reaches for the flashlight, and we're going down the steps. And we get to the kitchen, and baby gates are up, and we shine the flashlight. No Bryn, nowhere. But she's crying. And we're like, where is this coming from? And on the other side of the baby gate, in the little sitting area, was the door to the basement. And it had one of those old slide locks. And the slide lock was locked. Baby gate up. This is on the other side of the baby gate. Different background. Family came in and it got really busy and noisy. So Brittany's crying. We can't find her. She is not in the kitchen area. And we realize she's crying from the basement. The door is on the other side of the baby gate that is locked. The basement door is one of those old paneled wood doors, again with the slide lock. It's in the bolted position. My husband hands me the flashlight. He unbolts the slides the door. I shine the flashlight down as he's going down the steps, and there she is at the bottom of the steps. Big eyes glowing in the flashlight light, staring up at us at the bottom of the basement steps. So he goes down and he gently scoops her up, walks up the steps, and we don't say a word to each other. I am absolutely freaked out. I can barely hold the flashlight. We put her on her dog bed, make sure the gates are secure. My husband shuts the basement door. We slide the little brass bolt over in the down position. We go back up to bed. I can't close my eyes. He is out in 2 minutes. I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes goes by. It's still storming. We still don't have power. We hear Bryn crying again. He bolts right up. He sits right up. I said, oh my God. We get the flashlight. We go down the steps, expecting something different. She is not in the kitchen. Baby gates are up. She is in the basement. We open the door, slide the bolt open, and there she is again at the bottom of the steps. Again, she cannot walk. She has no use of her hind end at all, and she's a big, big standard poodle. He scoops her back up. We go back up, tuck her in, go back to bed. We're both not sleeping. Maybe a half hour goes by. She's howling again, and she's really howling. It was kind of it wasn't a whimper. It was really scared. I am literally holding on to the back of his shirt as we're going down the steps into the hall, knowing full well she is not going to be in the kitchen. It happened 3 times that night, that she was down the basement with the bolt slid shut. Many, many years later, we ran into, actually, my husband ran into our friends. And it was, good 20 years later. And my husband said, "Hey, we've always wanted to talk to you about this, but is your house haunted?" And he said, "Oh my God, absolutely. We have jewelry and articles of clothing that go missing for months, and we come home and it's laid out on the bed. And many other things that they did not tell us when they asked us to babysit that house." So really, really unnerving night. A couple of things happened during that week to us personally, but it was really scary. And looking back now, we think, did that happen? Because it was so supernatural to be able to physically pick up a dog like that, knowing what it was doing or whatever it was, and knowing how it was going to affect us. I really think about it now, the psychological part of that, the intelligence of this particular haunt. It's a family favorite story that we've told our kids now that we have kids, and we share it with friends that are like, "Mom, Dad, tell the story." And we both look at each other like, did this happen? And it did.